Hey everyone, Matron here, bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. This time a game between LiquidJinro and ReXZanDarke. Jinro spawning as the red Terran here, Rex spawning as the blue Protoss. LiquidJinro coming off of his big win in MLG Dallas, won the National Championship Tournament, and recently qualified for GSL Season 3. Rex has qualified for Season 1 and Season 2, making it to the round of 32 in Season 1 and getting knocked out in the round of 64 in Season 2. So two very high quality players, and we'll see whether Jinro, who I believe is over in Korea for GSL Season 3, this is probably a Korean ladder match, will be able to take down the Protoss. Rex did lose to OGS Inca in the round of 32 in GSL 1, and then lost to OGS Gon, a Terran player, in the round of 64 in GSL 2. So we'll see how his PVT has grown since that GSL Season 2, and Jinro will be a good test, very solid Terran player at the moment. Sort of flew under the radar in the first two MLGs, but all of his Team Liquid teammates had great things to say about him, and he was really able to show in the MLG Dallas tournament just how good he is. So we are on Scrap Station right now, which may allow one or both players to get up fast expansions. Again, Scrap Station, one of the long ground distance maps, so it really allows for a bit more of a macro game, very interesting as well because the players are close by air. So we could see some Void Ray play from Rex, or perhaps even some Banshee play from Jinro. Jinro really likes to use Banshees, especially in the TVT matchup, so we may see him use Banshees in this PVT matchup. Looks like both players sending out a scout relatively the same time. Jinro getting up his first barracks and out the first Marine's going to try to deny scouting to this probe as early as he can, getting down the orbital command directly after that barracks, so not going for any two barracks play early on. See some people skipping that orbital command to throw down a second barracks and really push out a lot of Marines early on. And LiquidJinro just working on this one pylon right now, hoping to take down the shields. And Rex is just going to let that be for the moment. We do see a factory being made by Jinro here, and it's off to the side. The Marines at the front door are going to deny any sort of scouting, so Rex will not be able to see this factory, and the positioning here makes me think that Jinro will be floating this over to Rex's base, perhaps to land and do some Hellion harass, as we do have the first Zealot now coming out and going to deny the scout of LiquidJinro. Cybernetics Core working on that Warp Gate tech, and a chrono boosted Stalker's coming out as well. Jinro does need to cancel this refinery, looks like he's going to, before the Zealot's able to take it down. And now a robotics facility going up for Rex, so opening up with a 1 gate into Cybernetics Core and then a fast robotics facility. So he will want to get out a scout and observer as early as possible. We do see that factory now floating over. Wonder if he will use this just to scout the Protoss base, or whether he will try to land in the back. It looks like he's going to do just that, and perhaps try to get out a few Hellions to harass these probes. So Rex spreading pylons, he's going to be able to see any approaching ground units for Jinro at this point. Jinro throwing down that bunker. He does not know yet what the build of Rex looks like, so being a little bit defensive, getting that bunker. But again, you are able to salvage those bunkers, so they are free in the long run. And we do see the robotics facility coming out, and the first observer as well. We do have the starport just finished for Jinro, and he's going to land on the tech lab, which was prepared by the barracks. Now getting out a Banshee, no cloak yet. He can afford cloak right about now if he chooses to go that route. So it looks like this factory just flying through is going to be seeing if Rex does have the expansion yet, and he does not. Not many Stalkers on the field for Rex, so he's not actually able to take down this factory. And we do see the factory landing and denying that expansion. So Rex has about 600 minerals he will not be able to spend, because this factory is just going to sit here, and now the one Zealot and Stalker just going to keep working on the factory. A number of Stalkers being warped in now that the warp gate has finished, and going to be taking down this factory, and Rex again saving up 400 minerals. We do see the first Banshee making its way over. So these Stalkers are a little bit out of position to defend against this Banshee if Jinro can get in here quickly. Again, he is not working on Cloak, so we wonder how much damage he's going to be able to do with this Banshee without Cloak. It looks like the Stalkers are doing a good job here, denying that Banshee access to this mineral line. The Observer is in LiquidJinro's base, so he is seeing everything that's going on right now. We see that Jinro is making another starport and a command center far to the left in this base, throwing down a second barracks as well. So both players working off very few production structures, the 3 gates and the robotics for Rex at this point, and about to have 2 barracks and 2 starport for LiquidJinro. Out comes a Raven. Again, Raven's very powerful against Protoss because of that point defense drone, and the Raven is going to be able to shoo away that Observer as the Marines are going to try to chase it down and deny scouting for the Protoss player. We see a large transfer. It looks like about 2/3 of the probes, full 16, going over to the natural now that it's almost complete. He will be running off 4 gas as well. So I wonder what he's going for higher tech. It looks like he's going for a few Phoenix right now, perhaps to counter the Banshees. So we see another bunker being moved down. The first one was salvaged, so going to be protecting that natural. We see the Banshee in the back taking down a few probes. Looks like he got 3 kills there before the Stalkers were able to react and get in position. Now we have these Phoenix being chrono boosted out, so they will be trying to chase down these Banshees and deny any more probe harass. So it looks like Jinro does have his expansion down. It has 33 harvesters compared to the 36 of Rex. With those mules, he should be even at this point, and we'll see whether both players just try to macro up. Banshee again sitting in the back. We do see Stim coming out as well as another Banshee and Marauder for Jinro. So just working off these 2 barracks right now, getting up a 3rd. And he does have this Raven gaining energy. So the point defense drone, it can use 1 right now and perhaps 2 by the time that these 2 sides do engage. Good positioning here by Rex with this Observer. He's able to see the static defense of Jinro, and he's also able to see any troop movement. We have the Phoenix coming out, and it's just going to try to poke in here, get some good scouting. Now that he has been denied scouting by that Observer because of the Raven, he's just going to use these very quick Phoenix. And it looks like he's going to try to poke away at this Raven. He might be able to get this Raven down, but the Raven uses that point defense drone, which actually intercepts the attacks of the Phoenix. And he does save that Raven. He needs to get this repaired up. Very important unit this Raven is in this TVP matchup. It did have to waste a point defense drone there, but it saved its hide and it will live to fight another day. Looks like we have the Phoenix come in here, going to be denied any sort of scouting, as Jinro does have a few Vikings on the field. We see the Phoenix picking up those mules and taking them down. Looks like this Phoenix has 3 kills, and its brother-in-arms has 2 kills, so doing a little bit of harassment. We see Rex doing a good job spreading his units in his mineral line, along with an Observer, so he is prepared for the Phoenix harass, or for the Banshee harass, and he has these Phoenix as well, just trying to keep check on LiquidJinro's air army. Looks like Jinro now moving across the field. We do have a robotics bay went down for the Protoss player, and now getting out Colossus. So both players teching every which way. We do have Jinro has these Vikings on the field, going to be very good against those Colossi. But if the Phoenix are able to focus down those Vikings before they can take down the Colossi, we could see the Protoss player taking advantage. If we look at the Army tab for both players, 2600 to 2300. So we have more harass going on for Rex at this point, just picking off as many SCVs as he can, and the army of Jinro is out of position. Rex needs to stay in here and keep picking off SCVs, force Jinro to go multiple directions with his army, as it looks like Jinro is going to be pounding through these rocks, about to break through. And he's going to be met by 1 Colossus right now, and a 2nd Colossus about to pop, as well as that thermal lance upgrade. We see a scan coming for Jinro. The Phoenix are going to be at the front of the line trying to take down these Vikings. Again, the Vikings are very important in this battle, especially now that we have 2 Colossi out on the field. We have Cloak Banshees coming in, but there is an Observer in this bunch. So a very interesting mix for both players, air and ground. We have the Raven is capable of another point defense drone, so if we have good positioning on that point defense drone, it can take all the attacks of the Stalkers and the Phoenix for a little while, perhaps allow for a turn in this battle. We do see that point defense drone does go down, and all the energy used up very quickly. The Phoenix trying to focus down these Vikings. Vikings able to focus down one Colossus right now. The second Colossus still up, doing a lot of damage to these units. The Vikings are able to take that down. The Phoenix are taking down all the Vikings right now, and finally focusing down the Banshees, but it looks like a scan or perhaps the Raven showed that observer. It was able to be focused down by Jinro, and now there is no detection for Rex at this point. So Jinro's whole army was taken down, but he does have these few Banshees with Cloak, and he's going to go right into the mineral line of Rex and going to get as many probe kills as he can. See another Banshee coming into the main minerals, but we do have Rex prepared a photon cannon, and he does have more Phoenix. Looks like we have another observer coming out for Rex at this point as well, and he's done, I believe, a bit of a transfer. We have more Marines and Marauders working on the front door of Rex, but this Colossus, without any Vikings there, is going to be able to take care of these Marauders. Do have the Cloak Banshee in the main taking care of these probes. Most of the probes have been transferred over to the main at this point, and it looks like the Cloak Banshees of Jinro spread all around the natural, and Rex really needs to get some Stalkers and an observer down to this natural. Looks like the Phoenix are going to be there. This Banshee does not have much energy left, and here comes that observer taking down that Banshee. So both players losing the majority of their army, 1900 to 1450 right now. We have a photon cannon going down in the natural. That'll be good to defend against those Cloak Banshees. And we'll see which player is able to macro up here and push out with a force first. Jinro does have the worker advantage, 46 workers to 31. He took down so many of those probes with the Banshees. Here's the Banshee with 6 kills right now, two-shotting those probes, able to outrange that cannon, and able to cloak and get away. A lot of Phoenix right now, 6 of these Phoenix chasing down that Banshee, hoping that it runs out of energy. And now we see that Banshee is taken down now that the observer is on the field right next to it. So Rex moving across this gap here, across this space, and looks like he's going to try to do as much damage as he can to the economy of Jinro. Doesn't have much in the way of army besides these Phoenix right now. Does have one Colossus out, and then a few gateway units, more Cloak Banshees coming in. We do not have an observer here, so the Banshees are going to do a lot of damage against the units here. The Vikings taking down the Colossus very quickly. And it looks like the ball of Jinro is going to be able to make the Stalkers here retreat. Again, no observer with this group. Now we see a scan trying to focus down this observer. He's able to do that. There's going to be no answer for these Banshees. See no observer coming out for Rex at this point, so Jinro is just going to have the advantage. These Cloak Banshees doing so much damage, and then the Marines and Marauders supporting. Just perhaps too many Phoenix pumped out for Rex, not enough Colossus and gateway units, and excellent use of Cloak there by Jinro. If you're able to scan or use that Raven to take down those observers, then there's no answer for these Banshees. They do so much DPS, and Jinro is finally able to push through here. So pretty interesting game from two players that we suspect to see compete in this next GSL. LiquidJinro has already placed or already qualified for the round of 64. Not yet sure about Rex, but he has qualified for the first and second, so good chance he will qualify for the third. Wanted to bring you this game from the Korean servers as a preliminary look at two players who could be factors in this next GSL. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. As always, if you're looking for more tournament action, check out my channel Matron StarCraft at YouTube. Thanks for watching.